Have you ever met someone for the first time before and your first impression of them was just bad because the way they looked at you was rude, or maybe the tone of their voice was rude, or just the way they acted rubbed you the wrong way? Well, I know I'm guilty of judging people on first impressions and their nonverbal cues. And today I'm going to show you how improving your nonverbal communication awareness and knowledge of nonverbal communication can help you with your relationships in a positive way. The truth, as stated in the website Ethos 3 of 2011, 60% of all human communication is nonverbal body language. That means that 30% is your tone. So this means that 9% of what you're saying isn't coming out of your mouth. Us as individuals need to be aware of the fact that what is shown and what are said are two very big things that people judge us on. Clearly learning correct nonverbal communication is important in life because Ethos 3 says nonverbal signals can increase trust, clarity, and add interest when yielded properly. After doing much research on nonverbal communication, I've found a lot of scholarly articles that I've pulled all of my information from. I'll discuss the importance of emotions, the factors involved in nonverbal communication, and how your nonverbal communication affects what people think of you. Perceiving emotion and emotional ability play a huge role in how we personally handle our own nonverbal communication. According to the article Emotional Ability and Nonverbal Communication in the June 9th, 2014 issue of Psychology and Marketing, our ability to understand and use nonverbal signals is a powerful tool for expressing our feelings, managing impressions, influencing others, and forming and defining relationships. Emotional ability represents the ability to skillfully use emotional information to achieve desired outcomes, and emotional ability consists of 4 dimensions that allows individuals to recognize the meaning of emotional information and reason and solve problems on the basis of information. Perceiving emotion involves accurately identifying their source as coming from within oneself, others, products, and situations. There are many factors that work together that present our nonverbal cues. These factors include eye contact, facial expression, tone of voice, and posture and gesture. According to figures I found in The Importance of Nonverbal Communication by Ethos 3 in 2016, 90% of what you're telling another person isn't actually coming from your mouth. There are 5 main effects of nonverbal communication that we can have. 1 is repetition, 2 is contradiction, 3 is substitution, 4 is complimenting, and 5 is accenting. Work on strengthening your eye contact. It's been found and proven that people that smile are considered more attractive and friendly. Now that we have talked about ways we can improve our nonverbal communication cues, let's talk about how nonverbal communication can go wrong and how to notice when it does. Nonverbal skills affect whether people like and respect you and whether they trust you or not. Many people send confusing and nonverbal signals without even knowing it. In Help Guide's article, Nonverbal Communication, published in October of 2016, it stated that it's important to recognize our nonverbal signals because they speak the loudest. Connections and trust can be damaged due to people sending confusing and negative nonverbal cues without even knowing it. If you want to communicate effectively, then avoid misunderstandings because it's important to understand how to use and interpret nonverbal signals. Learning to manage stress is a huge way to improve nonverbal communication. Emotional awareness also strengthens nonverbal communication. To recap, I've talked about perceiving emotion and how emotional ability aids in nonverbal communication. I've told the factors involved in nonverbal communication, and I have told how nonverbal communication can affect what people think of you. Next time you meet someone and you want to make a good impression on them, it's important to be aware of your nonverbal signals and remember what ways are positive and what ways are negative when showing them without talking. Nonverbal communication affects all of us around the clock basis, whether we realize it or not. It can be helpful for us when working with others or forming new relationships, or it can be detrimental. Don't let your nonverbal communication stand in the way of any opportunities you have in the present or the future.